Stu Hamm has an unfortunate trademark. This world-renowned bassist has played with our generation's greatest guitarists, including Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, and Frank Gambale. But still, he's widely known to be booed whenever he plays his mind-blowing solos live. The truth is, he's actually being stewed. His fans yell his name, and it ends up sounding like he's being booed. So when Rage got an interview with him while he was on his Asian tour, we just had to ask, does he still get stewed?
I certainly do.
What do you think about it? Do you actually tell them not to do it?
It doesn't bother me.
Really?
But it bugs the heck out of Joe. I know that.
Yeah.
You know, he's gone so far as to go online and try to get people to sort of kind of chant. But you know, in America, people just like to go to concerts and go ooh. You know, there's a football player named Moose Johnson, and people go Moose, and a guy named Michael Cooper, and it was Cooper. So, but it just cracks me up that some people still think they're booing me, and there may be a small section of the crowd that are booing me. But you know, I certainly see it as just a sign of endearment, and I think it's great.
But how exactly do you end up playing for Steve Vai and Joe Satriani?
You know, I first met Steve when we were freshmen at Berkshire College of Music. We're both, like, the first week I was there at school, we met, and I played on his audition tapes for Frank Zappa, and then you know, those early gigs with him were really exciting, and then through association with him and the record company that put out Flexible, I ended up meeting Joe Satriani, and that was the same thing. You know, our first few gigs there was no one there, and then Surfing with the Alien just went through the roof, and it was a really incredible rise. And I mean, the first gigs we did, he was singing Roll Over Beethoven, and we didn't know the name of the songs. And then, you know, then he got the gig with Jagger and was on CNN and Time Magazine, and next thing you know, we were playing big places. So yeah, it was very, very exciting.
But that was during the late 80s and the 90s, where virtuoso musicians like Vai, Satriani, and Stu himself enjoyed great popularity. These days, younger audiences don't seem to have quite the same appreciation for music.
Popular music just goes in shifts from where it's cool to be technical, and then of course right after the reaction to Steve and Joe was grunge, where you know it's not cool to actually be able to play our instruments. You know, just like back in the '78 when there was fusion and stuff like that, the reaction was the Sex Pistols and the beginning of punk. So pop just comes in waves. I think there's always going to be, you know, a section of core musicians, and how that relates into the pop field is I don't know. I mean, Joe's success with Surfing with the Alien was certainly an anomaly, you know, and phenomenal. And Joe and Steve had, you know, some, I wouldn't say coattail success, but you know, some critical and you know, record sale success through that. But who knows?
So how does a musician like Stu, who has played with all the biggest names, stay motivated to make music?
Well, you know, I gotta pay the rent every month. I have a 10-year-old daughter who grows out of shoes every other week. No, I mean, I do what I do because I love it. I mean, if I won the lottery tomorrow, if I was rich or poor or whatever, it's just that's what I do, is to play music, and I love doing it, and I love to continue to get better as a musician and to write music and to play music.
And speaking about his daughter, does music really run in the family?
She's okay. She's a good bass player. You know, you can actually see her on YouTube if you go to Charlotte Ham Live in New York. She's actually jamming at Soundcheck with Jeff Gambatelli. She's good. I'm taking a real hands-off approach. I mean, she's 9 years old, for God's sake. So but she definitely has a musical gift. She's got a really, when she plays, it sounds like music.
As Satriani used to say, they stew him because they love him. And being such a great musician and a great guy, it's hard not to stew him. Ian Yee, The Star, Malaysia.